Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second episode of Untethered. This is Roger Hanson. I'm here with Mark Edworthy. I'd like to say hello to you guys.
Hi,
And
hi.
hello to everybody. And today is our second attempt at making episode two, just so everybody knows. The first attempt was actually a pretty damn good stream. We had a really good conversation about the topics that we were talking about. And at the end of it, it was weird because well, first of all, let me tell you something. Dealing with conspiracies for I don't know how many years now, it makes a person a little bit edgy when you have a stream like that, and right after you mention not using freaking YouTube because of their excessive censorship, the freaking audio for your everybody on the panel just goes mute. You know what I mean? It does something to you. It makes you kind of suspicious, and
It's
that's
coincidence.
yeah. I mean, I know like that's the ordinary way of thinking, but you got to remember too, man. I mean, I deal with conspiracy freaking all the time. You know what I mean? So
Mm, mm.
it's just something that's like built into my brain now. You know, um, and it was a good topic or a good conversation. I think it was at least.
I can hardly remember it.
Yeah,
No,
I know. It's
mind you, we've
because
had what 3, 4 videos since. So
it was
yeah,
it was a complex conversation that kind of went into a lot of different topics too.
yeah,
Because first we well, see, first of all, let me just tell everybody what the theme of this this stream is. Now, I call this stream untethered for a reason, and that's because that's what it is. We're not tethered to any topic or anything. We last time we did a show, it was about Moloch and the people who believe in Moloch and the history behind it. Now, this one is about the internet. Now, the theme of it is the internet is a scam, and this is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. And I was really when I first thought of this, I was really caught between uh, where I wanted to start it off at, because first of all, I've had like experiences from the time I've started doing all of this streaming stuff, and even before that, dealing with eBay and just trying to sell stuff on the internet, So there's things that I've been wanting to talk about on these streams that really there's no proper place to do it if you go according to like topics and things of that nature. Um, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show because I wanted to just say fuck all that bullshit. Let's have a conversation about real stuff and stop trying to follow the leader and figure out what's popular and
more
follow.
like it's real stuff.
Right.
Okay,
Well, it really is. It's more conversation. It's actually more conversation about what's on people's minds. You know what I mean? It's not
okay.
about. I don't go on and I don't freaking find out what the current news is or what the most popular conspiracy theories are, and come on and do stuff like that. But there's a lot of people who do that. You know what I mean? And
Indeed, indeed, we know quite a few, few like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's kind of one of the things that's really been bugging me because there's a lot of things that don't pertain to those subjects that are really needing to be talked about. So this week I wanted to talk about just things that either well I was stuck in between two things. I was stuck between what I said about my experiences starting out all the way up to now, or about a lot of the conversations that we've all had on the Minds Chat concerning uh, well just everyday topics when it comes to freaking the internet. So I pulled together some of the stuff that we've actually gotten into good conversations about in some of the streams and everything, and I freaking decided I was going to go with that instead, you know. And I think the one thing that really stuck out to me is why, and it's the reason why I made the theme for this show, "The Internet is a Scam," was every time I bring up this thing about the internet is supposed to be a place where people can share information freely among one another. You know, me personally, I think that's a load of shit, and I think that it was that was a freaking idea that was planted into people's heads to try to get them to believe that that's what it was about. You know, when in reality it wasn't. And I've done research on this shit too. And I know me and you have our differences of opinion about
Mm.
that. You know, um,
Well, I agree. There was a portion 90s, early 2000s that the internet was free in your estimation. But
that's it.
it will determine on what you mean by free, really, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, free is free, dude. You know,
Free, what free, as in free, as in beer, or free, oh yeah, the old open source argument, the free as in beer, or free as in um, liberty.
why can't you have free beer and free liberty? I mean, shit. I mean, come on, dude.
That
What
sounds good.
we got to freaking pick
Um,
and choose and shit. You know what I mean? That's the scam, dude. That's exactly the example I needed to freaking say my point. That's what the scam is. Now you have to pick and choose. What are we talking about when it comes to freedom? You know what I mean?
what do you determine? What do you call freedom? What do you call free? More
Okay.
importantly, well,
And,
freedom.
and this brings me to what I was talking about with DARPA. Okay. Now everybody, whoever freaking does the actual research, knows that freaking DARPA was the one who developed the internet first. This is
Aided, aided to develop, not developed. Universities, MIT,
they used
um,
they used
Cambridge.
university they used these
Uh,
universities as experiments so that they could they were basically guinea pigs to see if the freaking shit that they
Cambridge, in around Cambridge in the UK, a lot of inventions have been created due to the internet, aided in the World Wide Web as part of the CERN
see.
project.
Now you're talking about the World Wide Web, and we've already had that
Yeah,
discussion
but
too.
but
That
yeah, 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 yeah. But Cambridge is also known for universities. UK universities was known for aiding and abetting in the creation of the internet, in, of the 1967 post 67 internet.
But okay, now with academic roots, okay, that started between the 70s and the 80s. So, and the internet
Also,
itself was
companies
being
companies like Acorn Computers, the people, if it technically if it wasn't for Acorn Computers, you wouldn't have any ARM chipsets now, because they came up with the entire concept of RISC and ARM but yeah, they had influence in wide area networking as well
now
back in the 80s, early
this
80s.
this is only for the academic roots though. Like that was during the
No,
70s.
yeah, yeah. Acorn Computers
Military,
had association with the Department of Education, but it was also a private company in its own right,
but
and
see,
it did sell.
military research into freaking the internet goes all the way back into the 60s, maybe even into
Yeah,
the 50s.
68, 67
You know,
was arguably 64, but yeah, 67 is the common sort of concept of when the internet was born.
now with the internet, they used to. I mean, everything about DARPA was established.
To say the internet, let's call it wide area network rather than the internet,
Well, let's call it
because the
ARPANET.
internet,
Let's call it
yeah, is a
ARPANET.
wide area TCP/IP network, and in effect,
Now, like
that's
everybody today, when you say DARPA, everybody thinks conspiracy theory, but they don't realize that freaking DARPA is actually yeah, the name that it was changed to is originally named ARPANET. Okay, and that was a Advanced Research Project Agency Network. Okay, now that was what freaking I'm referring to when I say ARPANET, and that is the roots of DARPA. That's where DARPA came out of, and that all centers around the internet. Okay, nothing else. The internet, and it also has ties into video games, and they use video games to experiment with these colleges, is what I found out. And the game Pong that everybody used to play our ages when we were young, okay, that was actually called ping pong that the military used in colleges, and they would have students playing ping pong so that they could freaking measure their reaction time whenever it came to hitting the ball on the video game. That was the information I came up with. So, and with what you were saying too with MIT, I haven't yet been able to find the information out on MIT yet. I haven't had time to.
okay. Well, there is a big university drive in the US at this time. Back in the, I've just found a diagram of ARPANET's the principles of TCP/IP, so ARPANET.
No, yeah, TCP/IP, yeah.
Which is really what ARPANET did. It actually created the TCP/IP protocol for wide area networks.
Mm-hmm.
Switching.
Distributed control, and it was one of the first computer networks to implement it.
The diagram that I've got, I just gave you the URL to, is data center free, so there has been changes within 6 years, 7 years.
Is it in?
Free.
Now that's in the chat, right? Yeah,
and it's been published by Harvard, Stanford, so MIT.
Now I'm gonna pull that one up. I also have a diagram for ARPA too that I can show as well. That's 973.
Yeah. 6 years later from the original concept. 7 years later from the original concept.
Yeah, they won't let me pop it up as a picture by itself, though. That's the only bad part. Actually, you know what? I could probably save in an image.
Yeah, that screen capture or something.
Yep. Let me go ahead. I can put it into my saved pictures. I usually save this stuff anyhow, so it's important to keep it. That way I can make a cool slideshow out of it later on. And then what I'll do is I can come in here and I can freaking just upload it directly to the stream so that everybody can see it. But let me figure out what the hell I'm doing, because I'm still, well, I'm not as bad as what I was over before, but